Hey everyone, checking in on the Canadian MJ space, doing the normal weekend videos for members but making them public. Also going to do USMJ and the mushroom sector, so check out those other videos as well. So Canadian MJ, a lot's been going on fundamentally. We've got the merger between APHA and TLRY, which was a pump and dump. There's no other way to cut it. The stocks ran up before that news was released on that day. The news was released after hours. There were already rumors out hours before it was released, so we know people knew it was coming, and we know people loaded that info. And then after hours, when it was intentionally released, and in my opinion, because it's a lot thinner traded, a little bit of dollar volume goes a lot further in extended hours, prices surged higher 20-30%, and everybody that loaded up was selling into that hype, and then we just dropped from there, and it was a pump and dump. There's no other way to cut it. So APHA shareholders are none too pleased with the deal, and we're going to see that disappear, and we're going to see TLRY take over. Well, not take over, but as far as tickers are concerned, take over. APHA was, we've been saying for a while now, top 3 Canadian MJ technical names: CGC, VFF, APHA. That's changed since the deal. That dethroned APHA, and they are no longer in that standing. VFF is the clear lead bull in Canadian MJ as far as technical analysis is concerned. So that's a deal. And in the past 2 days, we've had a couple things going on where yesterday there was a big pop on CGC when we had some kind of coverage come out. I don't even honestly know the name off the top of my head, but coverage and bullish coverage of CGC. Then we have VFF for 2 days. Yesterday, rumors of some kind of potential merger or buyout. And then today, again, I don't even have the names off the top of my head. That shows how little it matters to me. But essentially, investment banks saying, hey, CGC should buy VFF. We think this should happen. And to me, when I see that headline, all that means to me is they already loaded a position. They saw that VFF was technically strong. Them buying a position probably kept VFF stronger than its peers. And then they released this news because it's a nice weekly bull flag and it can run. Because traders like me are going to jump into that bullish momentum as well, which I did and I'll talk about a little bit. But that's how I view how the sector has shaped up right now. And again, names and those kind of details don't matter to me. And that doesn't mean they don't matter. If fundamentals are your thing, by all means, get all those details. But as far as being a trader, that's the fundamental summary that I need to know. So CGC, there's that pop from yesterday, and we gave it all back. It was notable because this weekly consolidation up to that point was very healthy. We went 100% on the weekly time frame over that with no weekly consolidation. This is the first period of a clear weekly pullback. So this is a potential weekly bull flag at this point, but this week has given us a bit of a red flag. So weekly healthy consolidation, daily time frame set up a trend change. We had a low, we bounced and set a daily lower high at 27.10. We held support. That support was 25.03. Well, we double bottom there. We broke it by 3 pennies. So double bottom at 25 and then a break on resistance. And yesterday's momentum was number 1. CGC acted as a laggard to the VFF big volume bull move. And then again, number 2, that report added a push. Let's just look at it in yesterday's action. So yesterday's action, this is the laggard move to VFF. And then this is that coverage. So these are the first real red flags that I'm getting on CGC. Because again, the weekly consolidation was very healthy and we were setting up for a daily trend change and we got it with 0 follow through straight into a close at the low of today and a very notable pullback from that high. We're down almost 10% from the high of yesterday. So $25 is the most important level. And if $25 breaks, we're obviously seeing further weekly consolidation. On top of all that, what I have to take into account is that the sector has been pulling back for weeks. SPY has not pulled back at all on the weekly time frame during that period, and USMJ has not pulled back at all during that period. So that's a red flag as well. And I can say if the S&P 500 were to consolidate on the weekly time frame sometime in the next few weeks, Canadian MJ is not positioned necessarily well for that because we know that correlation will add downward pressure on the sector, which has already started its consolidation preemptively. So it's all about 25. After 25, we're looking down at 23.42. And again, it would just, if 25 breaks from here, this good looking weekly chart no longer looks good. VFF weekly chart looks good. That's a weekly bull flag confirmed on massive volume. Weekly high or low is set at 910. There's a lot of profit taking along the way, but these are big time moves. And again, very healthy daily consolidation. It was the same setup as CGC. We know we're looking for a weekly high or low. We bottom at 910. We top out for a daily lower high at 1041. High or low on the daily of 950. And then there's your confirmed trend change, weekly high or low set. And you compare that weekly time frame on VFF to CGC, and it's a night and day difference. Confirmation and close, highest we've seen in over a year, I believe. And CGC, little dinky upper wick, and we close kind of close to support that we came from. So I traded VFF yesterday, and I was late to the party, so to speak. But we saw in the first hour of trading 20-day average volume. So I know that we have 5.5 hours left to trade in the day, and we're already at the 20-day average volume, which at that point was already over the previous week of volume. We were up here 1 hour into the day. So that told me this move is for real. There's volume behind it. So I entered on consolidation. And I'm not going to go into a ton of details because I've been flipping it in both directions probably 15 times the last 2 days. But it was essentially looking for consolidation. As soon as 1120 broke and the bears did not see any notable follow through, that's where I made my entry. I would have made another one if we broke $11 on the pullback. Essentially, I was looking for an hourly high or low, and we hardly even pulled back enough to show that on the hourly time frame as consolidation. And then we saw that big push into the afternoon. But I've been leaving money on the table left and right with VFF. But again, I'm playing it in both directions, and I am jumping in and out quickly, locking in a bunch of day makers, and keeping my risk extremely strong because of that speed. So that's just my style of trading. But overall, the daily chart definitely favors the bulls. Hourly time frame, I would call anything above 1038 an hourly high or low. I played that bounce this morning. We hit extreme RSI levels. So we'd look for an hourly high or low compared to 1038. If we lose the hourly uptrend, we zoom out, and on the daily, anything above 950 is a higher low. So sector as a whole, we actually have a whole bunch of names to go through, but sector as a whole doesn't look great comparative to the broader market and USMJ. VFF is standing out as the strongest. APHA, again, weak. It's a daily bear flag right now. Support is down at 695. Next level after 695, we're looking at 672. And again, the weekly time frame went from potential bull flag like peers, and now significant pullback. Yes, we're looking for a weekly high or low, but we have now pulled back a lot from that high. And the pre-market high, or the extended hours high on that news, was up at $10. So some shorts loaded, and they're up almost 30% at this point. TLRY, also a lack of follow through. Yesterday looked great because we know we're looking for a daily high or low, just profit taking and backfilling into the gap. Built a base of support, big bull move up, but again, giving it back. Most important support is like 822, and if 822 breaks, we confirm a daily downtrend, which would mean pretty much the weekly time frame was a nice tightening range that broke bullish with zero follow through, and then we would be looking at 716 as a key weekly support if we break 822. So essentially, we're just seeing the sector lose a bit of momentum. And Cron, daily bear flag. If we see a bear break of 738, next support level down at 703. And again, weekly consolidation is significant at this point. I would anticipate a weekly lower high to be set next time we bounce. It's a very distinct difference between Canadian MJ and US MJ over the last 3 weeks. ACB, weekly equilibrium is the most clear time frame for me. High of 1448, low or higher low of 642, lower high of 1250. And I would be watching for a higher low compared to 642. ACB is only a trader, ton of volatility, shorts piling at every chance that they can. The pattern is just short it to death, and then there's a short squeeze. And then you short it to death, and then there's a short squeeze. And those short squeezes happen around earnings, and you better believe that big money knows about that kind of play. And that's why you see huge volume pour in for it, and then the volume fades as we tighten up. So daily time frame is a bear flag at the moment. The bullet burden of proof is on the bulls to prove it's not a bear flag, but if 863 breaks, we're looking down at 830 and then a gap fill to 743. and just a very clear daily lower high pattern. So that's where we stand on the sector. VFF has my attention. It's great dollar volume for volatility in both directions. But other than that, sector is not positioned well for broader market consolidation. We'll see. Maybe we don't get broader market consolidation. We go up for another 3 weeks in a row, and that helps the sector hold on to weekly higher lows. That's a possibility, but just be cautious and keep an eye on that broader market. Happy holidays. Do good things. Have a great time. Check out the other videos, and we'll see you soon.